Welcome to the Real Glam and Grind podcast, where we celebrate beauty and boss babes of the world. And I'm actually really, really happy that I finally decided to start this podcast. I've been wanting to do it for years and years. And I've been talking about it with all my girlfriends and every model that I've literally have met, designers. And I personally believe that when you want something, you have to go out there and get it, and you have to make the move. You have to jump. So this is what I'm doing. And today we have a beautiful, amazing guest, and I'm super excited to tell you guys about her. She is a model for almost 2 decades. She started when she was 12 years old. She has been killing the game. She has published so many magazines from Playboy, Women's Health. She's done New York Times, also in Los Angeles magazine as well. She has done numerous runways, coutures, swimwear, lingerie, everything that you can think of, bridal shows. She also has a brand of her own, which is, we're going to talk about that. And she's also a former pageant girl. Actually, no, I lied. She's a pageant queen twice, not once, but twice. Miss Vizcaya, I believe that's the recent one that she did. And no further ado, Miss Melissa Sheree.
Hi. What
How are you?
Beautiful introduction. I feel
you.
so honored to be here with you today.
Thank you
for having me. This is awesome. You look gorgeous.
Thank you.
And I know you do pageants too. So I feel like the vibes are very queen vibes.
It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Yes.
And when I met you, the first time that I met you in Swim Week, I could already tell. I'm like, I love her. She's all about women empowerment. And I'm like, I have to have her on the podcast. So thank you so much for coming.
The feelings are mutual.
Thank you. And it's also her birthday soon. We're June babies.
I know, we're June babies. So it's awesome.
Yes. Your birthday's on the June 28th?
On the 28th, yes.
Yeah, and I'm on the 24th, which is 2 days.
It's we party all month.
Yeah, literally. Well, for me, I've been working. I'm a workaholic.
But still, in a way, it feels like a party when you work,
Thank you, yeah. So, okay, so
if you love what you do, it feels like that.
You know what? I keep hearing that, and I agree. I agree. When you love what you do, it just doesn't feel like work. You're just having fun. You're expressing yourself.
It's true.
And this is my little baby, so I'm excited.
That's literally what I call my clothing line. It's my little baby.
A little baby.
Yes.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself. So how did you start modeling?
So I was around 12. And initially, I was so inspired by movies, films, cinema. I wasn't quite aware that I would fall in love with doing modeling. I did get signed with an agency in California where I grew up, and basically I found that it's all about presentation. So basically I went to a casting, and the first casting that my agent had me go to was actually for a Verizon wireless lifestyle campaign. And that was the first job I booked. And then he kept sending me to castings, and I was booking print work frequently. And so it just kind of aligned with my energy and what I love doing. And I just fell in love with it, because I feel like as a model, when you're working with the camera, you're telling a story. Even though it's just a picture or a walk, you're literally telling a story. And clothing or whatever it is that you're selling, it gives you a feeling, and then you're basically presenting that to the world. So I feel very blessed to have gotten to work with different brands and meet different people and be inspired by other, women and people in the industry. So I love what I do. And I love meeting people such as yourself, because my whole thing is about connection, connecting. And I feel like when you're given a platform to connect, that's just such a beautiful thing,
And I love that, because I think that a lot of people see a model and they're like, oh, okay, she's just a pretty face. Oh, it must be nice to just make money from being beautiful. And it's one of the main purpose for my podcast is to show that, first of all, models are not just pretty face. There's more to them. I want to show the deeper side of being a model. We are people. We just have a pretty much a creative view, and I guess it's an art craft. You're literally expressing yourself through the media, in front of the camera. You go into a persona. It's almost like acting in a way.
It is like acting. I was gonna say both. It's so interesting you brought this up, because I told you before, I was just so in love with cinema and film. That's what really drew me to acting, and being on camera and knowing how to have that presence, but also when you're acting, you're given a role or a character, and you're looking into it. And that's the same thing also with modeling. Like sometimes the show will have like a whole theme to it. Like, you know what I mean? For instance, when you walked with Amerolis, it was all about gods, goddesses, and like we had, you know, the Grecian type jewelry, but it's like you're telling a story and you're presenting it through like the product or the line. So I love both.
Yes, and I actually noticed that for your brand when I went. By the way, guys, I walked for her show, and it was my first show. And Swim Week, it was hot. It was so hot.
It was hot.
But I had fun. And one of the things I will say, working with different designers is so important to like how they treat the models. She was very welcoming. She was all like, oh my God, hi. And she's like, we just want to make you feel like your best, be a goddess vibe. We're all about goddess vibes. And she like got me all these cute little like jewelry and your welcoming warmth. Like just, it made the show and the experience of the show so relaxing and fun. You know, and I saw the videos, they looked amazing. So it
all turned out so beautiful. But that's also thanks to you and everybody that's a part of it, because it's kind of like you're working together as a team. Like it's never just like one element. And like you said, we're all in it together, regardless of weather or anything going on. So it takes literally everybody's energy. And I feel that when models feel like they're a part of something bigger or like there's like a sense of community to it, it's so much easier to have like a good time,
right? Because for long term,
exactly. Like, why would you even want to do your industry if you don't enjoy it? You know what I mean? Like that's another thing. Like when I was a little kid, I remember thinking to myself, like, if it's not something that I enjoy eventually, like if it's no longer fun, there's no point. Like then I don't want to do it. And so I've had fun literally that many years, like over a decade. So I enjoy what we do. I enjoy every aspect of it. I've seen the industry shift and I love being a part of it, and I love to be blessed enough to still have like work to this day. So
same. I actually spoke about this yesterday in the first episode, and it was about like, if once you do not enjoy the journey, like if you do it for fame or money, you're gonna be miserable. You know what I mean? You have to love it and love to like just be creative, have that creativity inside of you, because you know, the motivation for money and fame is going to run out. You know what I mean?
That's
it's like,
so true.
You're going to hit a wall. So I wanted to ask you about your brand. What inspired you to say, you know what, as a model, which by the way, for models out there, I have actually spoken to a few of them. I have been modeling since I was like 17. So we kind of have like almost like the same, but not really. I mean, she's killed the game.
No, you're amazing. So don't even.
I was like, I'm like a baby model. You know, I have my baby experience.
No, you're stunning. You're stunning.
She went all out. Thank you. But with me, like, I think that the point to being a model is that eventually you will make your own brand.
That's
true.
And
this is so important, because I've asked a few models that are starting out or have been in the industry for a while, and they're just like, I'm like, are you gonna create something? Like, what are you doing with all these shows and all these things? And they're just like, oh, I don't know, I'm just doing this for fun. I'm like, and you've been doing it for 5 years? I'm like, maybe, like, who is going to tell her? Like, she has to really, like, the point to being a model is to create your own brand.
And also, like you said, also to give others opportunities and also to elevate other women. And, you know, it's like, we've all been in each other's shoes. We all had to start somewhere. Like, that's the thing. Like, there's people that have given me opportunities or scholarships or, like, jobs that I've booked.
Yes.
It's not like you're born with it and then it's like, oh, yeah.
Girl, my first modeling gig was $30. I got paid for $30.
But did you get good? Did you get good anything out of it?
You know what? Yes, it was the start of something very new, and it was for Univision. Let me not even say that, but yeah. But it was a long time ago. It wasn't with the actual network. It was with somebody else. I just randomly brought me. Was like, all right, you want to go? And I was like, yes. Like, I wanted that one door to open up.
See, but you never know.
And I started from that one door.
And you have to start somewhere. Yeah. And some people don't understand that, like what you just said, you always get something out of an opportunity or a job, whether it's an experience, a lesson. It kind of molds you into who you are, like, presently.
Right.
And what I love about pageantry, I'm going to touch base back on pageantry, because you're talking about how models aren't so sure about starting a brand or doing other things. So what I love about pageantry is it teaches you like elegance, and it teaches you how to multitask, and it teaches you how to carry yourself. And I feel that it also kind of inspires you to be like a boss woman, an entrepreneur, somebody that starts something. You know what I mean? Yes. And also like that sense of sisterhood and sorority to kind of bring other women
Yes,
together,
beauty,
bring them a
yeah.
part of it. Yes. So it's
Beauty,
like this amazing thing.
beauty with a purpose.
It's
Is what they teach us.
exactly.
Well, for Miss Universe, it's like their
No, it's
thing.
true.
Beauty with a purpose. And I did preparation for like 3 months for Miss Universe Cuba 2024.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you. No, it was honestly, it was like life changing, because I got to not only meet amazing people in the industry, like top designers, makeup artists, stuff like that, but I got to really truly like embody that confident woman
Isn't
that I
that
always
just such a
wanted to
beautiful
be.
thing, too?
Yes. I feel like every woman should do it.
It's so, I feel like on the outside, like nobody understands pageantry because it can seem so strange, like especially if you've never participated in a pageant, but it can have like so many benefits out of it. Like for us as women, like it really molds you into something that's like next level of yourself, like to go into whatever you enjoy doing. Like you can apply it to everything.
Right.
I'm sure you've like met many women like in different walks of their life through like pageants. You know what I mean?
Of course. I've met like every time I go to a casting, they're like, "Oh, I did pageant." I'm like, "Oh my god, sisterhood!" Like it's like an immediate bond that we have.
It's like a sorority
because it's like we've been through it, girl. Like I know, I see.
Yes.
You know, because it's not easy. That's the thing that people
No.
don't see. It's like it's a lot of work, a lot of discipline. You know, you have to take care of your body, your diet, and not only that, but you have to also take care of like your mental, like be able to be judged and told, hey, you know, you're not good enough, or hey, I don't like you're this, I don't like that. For me, oh my god, girl, I got attacked. I wasn't gonna talk about it, but I mean,
you can
I
talk about it with me though. To each other.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, Prince might. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like he might.
Go ahead.
But no, like I mean, I've spoken about this before. Like you know, I got judged so much by the media because you know when you're doing these pageants, like specifically for Miss Universe Cuba, it was like the first time they've been back to the Miss Universe for like since like 67 years. So I got just attacked, like burnt, like it was brutal. But honestly, like the one thing I will say, it definitely broke me open to the point where like you can tell me anything and you can try to do whatever it is that you want to do, but I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table, and I know what I have, and I know that I want this really. I want it. You have to really want it. So what would you say, like, how do you deal with the negative comments or that like insecurity that maybe, or fear of having like, oh, I'm getting judged in a competition because it's competitive?
So interesting that you bring this up. And this is another reason I love like auditions and modeling and acting. I feel that like with auditions, for instance, you learn how to deal with rejection because you have no idea how many times as an actress or a model you're told no. And when you do that at a younger age, it like first doesn't make any sense. And then you realize we're in this business. And sometimes you may be perfect for one casting director for something, you know, and for the production. And then for another one, maybe it's not what they're looking for.
Yeah, it's their vision.
Exactly. It's somebody else's vision. It's somebody else's project. So you kind of have to just take a step back and be like, okay, did I do everything in my power to present how I wanted to present? Then that's all you can do. And you can be happy and proud of whatever it is that you like brought to the table, to the casting. And yeah, I mean, that's how I've dealt with it. And I've also learned how to be present. I feel like mindfulness, meditation, things like that are so helpful because if you're present, you're not thinking about like the audition you just did. You're in that moment. You know what I mean? You're focused on the present. You're focused on what you're doing right now, and then you're able to like how you've created a podcast. Like you're able to create something. You can constantly create, and I feel like as women, we're creators.
Oh, yes.
And I feel like that's another thing with like
we create life.
Exactly.
You know, it's like in our DNA.
Exactly.
I know a lot of guys are going to be like, oh my God, here we go.
But we are creators. We love to create.
We're goddesses.
We're goddesses. Well,
like,
it's in a way, it's true though. Like, and that's something that I would like to bring up about the brand. When we created Amerolis, I was thinking, well, what is the most elevated feeling a woman can get when it comes to like working on herself? You feel like you're in tune with your inner goddess. You're at your highest self. So you're working towards being like your most elevated version, and that's through health, fitness, I don't know if you like to dance or listen to
Oh, I
music,
love dancing.
things like that. So like
Yeah.
as women, I feel like it's like a necessity. You know what I mean?
Of course. I mean, for me, like yoga, I'm a yoga instructor as well.
I love that.
And
See, we brought up
yeah.
meditation and mindfulness.
Yes. No, and for the pageant as well, if you do not meditate, you're gonna you're gonna lose it.
So true.
It's a lot of mental like
Yes.
strength. You have to be mentally strong
Yes.
to first of all have I personally think that my experience, like I said, back to the rejection, like you almost get so many no's when you're modeling and also when you're getting judged that
It's
you
so
become
true.
immune.
That's it right there.
Immune, and nothing
Yes.
can hurt you. You can be like, oh no, I'm sorry, you're not good for this part, or you're
It-
not
it-
good
it,
for
like,
the
numbs
runway. It's
you.
like, all right, cool, it's fine. All right, I came, I tried.
Well, yeah, and that's
Yeah.
it's exactly that. It kind of numbs you, and
Right.
it's so ironic too.
But
with-
I feel like it's powerful
it's a powerful
because
thing.
then
You
you're
become like
unstoppable.
Superwoman. Yes.
Yes.
However,
exactly.
I feel like sometimes you think like, oh, well, why didn't I book like, a certain job? Like maybe your heart was set towards something, and then you end up like maybe booking literally like the same thing with a whole different production.
No, that was me. I had this amazing casting for a reality show. I'm gonna talk about it.
Go ahead and talk about it. Go ahead and
It
talk
was for a
about it.
pageant
Okay.
reality show. Some of you guys will know what I'm talking about. But I was literally right about to, like, I did like 4 castings almost, like literally just right there.
You were so close.
I was literally right to like the point where like, okay, pack your bags, we're going. And they were like, thank you for your participation. I was like,
Oh.
and my whole world, I wanted to cry. I'm still hurting till now. I'm like, no.
No, but now it's
But
like
it's okay because I
this
would
is
have not started this. So
I was gonna say though, this is a nice
But it
thing. Like we're
hurt.
able to talk about this.
it hurt though. It was
Vent.
like, oh.
No,
It
but
feels
that's-
like rejection actually is it brings like a message to your brain
Yes.
apparently scientifically that it almost like a physical pain, you know.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, I didn't know this either. I'm like, okay, that's why it
Okay.
hurts so much.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But the other thing is like sometimes rejection is also redirection. And
Thank
I
you.
believe
Oh my
that God always has like a bigger picture and we only see certain parts. So sometimes we wonder, well, why didn't this work out? Like in our minds, we want to be in control and we want to be like, okay, I want this and this and this to work out. And then maybe it doesn't.
Right.
But then sometimes it's because you're supposed to do something
it's like
else.
happening for you.
Or you're
Yeah.
supposed to have something else. Or maybe there's something bigger that you're supposed to have. And that if you were like doing the other thing, you wouldn't have that.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
maybe it's your blessing. I don't know.
Yeah. So models.
We have to see.
Just know. And if you think about it, that's pretty badass. Like if you've been in the modeling industry for so long, I mean, think about how many no's and you're still going
yeah.
at it. That
It's
says
true.
a lot about you and like your character as a woman, as a person. And I think that a lot of people are like, oh my God, like whatever, she's, but it's like, it takes a lot to do that for so long
It's
and to
true.
like still keep your sparkle and still keep your dreams going and active. Like I think that, and so how do you deal with castings and like,
With casting.
yeah,
I feel
like
like.
how do you get ready for them?
How do I get ready? Okay.
Yeah, so the models and the girlies can get a
Are we talking
little-
about modeling castings, correct?
modeling? Oh, she also does commercial
Yes.
acting as well. A
I
little
feel
bit
like
of
it's all
everything.
kind of the same. I mean, in terms of prep, I feel like, as women, like what we do is we always try to be consistent, especially if you're with an agency, because they usually want you to maintain like your diet, your lifestyle, your hair, everything. And, I love self-care and everything. So usually I'll just maintain like my health and everything. And then if there's certain lines to memorize or if they want like a walk a specific way, I know we've talked about fashion show
Yeah.
walks, I will literally go to a coach because I feel like you never know
yes.
everything. And I feel like no matter how professional you are, there's always more to know.
Oh my God,
Like you can be
yes.
a professional athlete and you still need a trainer. So no
Yeah.
matter how many
Yeah,
times like I've walked,
absolutely.
I still like to go to a coach. Like I literally will go to a coach to
Right.
refresh on everything.
And how do you mentally? So you go to a coach before a casting. Actually, that does
Sometimes I do, yes.
because I've been recently doing that. Like I feel like that's
smart
like
though.
I'm like, why have I not done this before? Like I've been going to castings like, F it, I'm just gonna show up and just sparkle and whoever likes me and
And
whoever
it just
doesn't
works.
But it's like no, it's like you have to put in the
And
work
that's
to
it right there.
really
It's the
to go
work.
in strong.
And
you
that's
know?
what's so funny because when you brought up the thing about actors and models and how some people think it's all just it's easy. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of
is.
investment of your time, your money, your energy. It's a lot of like resilience, like what you said. It's resilience.
Yes.
And then
Perfect word.
you're as a human being, like it really shapes you into something else. So I mean, I enjoy doing this.
Right.
I enjoy the people I've met in the process. I think it's a
could tell.
beautiful thing to consistently work on yourself. And I feel like as an actress and a model, you consistently work on yourself.
Okay, yes, absolutely. And so when did you started, I guess you could say, curious about like acting? Because you're also an actress for, I forgot the name of the, what was it?
Go ahead.
Saga?
SAG-AFTRA. Oh, so SAG-AFTRA. How long have I been
I'm
SAG-AFTRA?
sorry. I know it's a thing.
It's the Screen
but I'm
Actors
not-
Guild. So
Yeah, so please tell
it's
them a little
okay.
bit.
We can
Yeah.
talk about this.
Okay, I'm like, I didn't know how to say it.
So SAG-AFTRA is a union for voiceover and acting for television and also voiceover. So when I joined my union, basically I was in California at the time that I joined with SAG. It was only SAG at the time before they merged with AFTRA. And I was very proud and like happy to be union. My agent was very happy that I joined the union as well. And what I love about it is they're really good to you on set. So basically they make sure you're working like the proper hours, that there's food, that you're being taken care of like professionally. It's basically on like a professional level to be SAG-AFTRA.
Oh, yes. No, I actually know this because back then when I was kind of like trying to be an actress, I had like my moments.
Trying?
I went,
No.
and I still am. I want to play with the acting.
Don't say trying. You're still
Yes.
doing it.
I mean, I did a few acting, you know, but I remember there was this. I think I was doing like an extra work for. It was like for a
also
movie.
work too.
No, but it was for a big movie. It was for Iron Man, I think it was.
No, girl. Are you
and I was
serious?
I was blonde back then.
I feel like I need to be asking you questions right now. I am such an Iron Man fan. That is
Really?
so cool. Yes, tell me.
Yeah, so I remember it was like epic. I was like, I could not believe that I was seeing all the like the big celebrities, like A-list
Yes.
celebrities and stuff. But I remember it was like all these like blonde. I was like a server, and they
That's
were
so
all
cute.
blonde.
You're
And I'm
gonna have
like,
to show me this.
and I noticed, and I'm like, wait, why are we all blonde? I'm like, did I just get kissed? And I noticed that apparently it was a part of the scene. I never saw the anything. I have no idea, but it was apparently like a dream that the guy was having with like in Russia or something. And I was like, oh, okay,
I feel like
that
I
makes
know
sense.
which movie you're talking about.
Oh, really? No.
so.
Imagine like I'm like in the back and I had no idea. Like
Yeah,
10 years
we'll
later.
have to watch it. We'll get some popcorn.
10 years later, yeah. But no, but I remember in that day, and I was like, I think I was like 19 or 20. Like I was a
fun,
baby.
though.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun. And I remember there were like actual actors, like just professional and just, you know, and they were with that,
With SAG.
the SAG. And
Yeah.
I realized that they were very much treated with respect. Like it was like a thing. And
a
I was
thing,
like,
yes.
okay. And then you just said it again. I'm like, oh, I know that. I remember.
Yeah.
So it's very professional.
It's professional, and also like I think it's a goal also for actors to join the union. Basically, when you book a certain amount of union work, you can join. Also, I feel that like as an actress, even just getting work, even if it's not union, like building your resume is a beautiful thing. Like looking for projects to audition for. Like I said, I love auditions. Like I love like studying a script and getting into character. Like it's a lot of fun. It's like a whole process.
Yes.
So
it's almost like dress up for me.
It's fun.
Mostly for modeling. I'm like, I love this thing. Like even when I was a little girl, I was always like,
see, and you know what I love about modeling, and this is something I'm going to bring up, and I started doing runway a few years ago. Like the pageantry kind of made me think, runway, because
No
it was
way.
all about
Me
your
too.
walk. It was all
Me
about your walk.
too.
And I thought, what a beautiful thing. Like if you know how to like walk into a room, it's powerful. Like if you know how to hold yourself up properly and like walk, it's a huge thing.
I love that.
But you
I
don't
actually
think about that.
I was anti-runway.
Were you? Same. I was like, I don't know.
Because I was
don't know.
clumsy.
I don't know about runway.
So
And
that's funny that
yeah.
you're saying that because I'm like, I swear, like I started doing runway like a year ago when I did the
2 years
pageant.
ago for me.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
yeah,
either.
I was clumsy. I was like,
I can't
hated-
imagine
I
that. You're
almost-
so graceful that I can't imagine you
Well,
being
no.
clumsy. But
No, but girl, no. After Prince and Fadi, shout out to them, by the way. It was like 3 months of like just 5 days a week.
but it's training.
5 days a week
It's
for
training,
3
though.
months.
But it's training.
It's
like,
ingrained in me.
but girl, that's training.
Yes. No, I'm really grateful because I think that it opened a lot of doors for me. You know, I didn't get to go to Miss Universe, the finals, but I got to meet amazing models, amazing people in the industry. And also, I got to see myself in a different light. You know, I feel like as a model, you're just told like, oh, you're just pretty, like pose like this, do that or whatever. But in the pageant world, they give you almost like a voice for you to think about how
true.
can you make a difference in the world? How can you speak to the
That's
masses?
true.
You're not speaking to just a few, no, like the masses of the women's in the world. And and how you can bring your story into something beautiful that you can inspire that one, you know, little girl that maybe one day is going to be in your spot. You know what I mean?
It's true.
And that wants to get inspired. Or maybe that one woman that maybe lost her sparkle and she needs that inspiration, and she sees you and she's like, oh my God, I love her. And she thinks about you when she goes to the gym with your Amerolis, you know?
You're so sweet.
What a promo.
The thing with like pageantry that I love is it really instills in women that like we're not one dimensional. There's more to us, and that we can do many things. And not only that, but like when you work on it, you can really achieve anything as a woman. And also like you know, you have sisterhood, you have each other, and like if you work at it, it takes you in a good direction. Right. I think.
Do you have any siblings?
I do have a sister.
One sister?
Yeah, I have a sister. Older? I love her. She's my little sister.
Oh, little.
I have like older sister energy.
Oh, really? Okay.
I do. I have older sister energy, but I have a younger
same
sister.
Here. Even though I'm younger, I'm like.
Are you the baby?
I'm the baby.
Aww.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm pretty crazy, but she's like more like into the. She's like a doctor, more serious. So I'm like the crazy creative, like. Literally, that's my personality.
That's like my energy too.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that too.
When I met you, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Even when we were casting for our show, I had seen your resume and your comp card, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl looks like we would just be friends. Like, really? I could just sense the energy. Because like we were saying, like photos with energy, like you can pick up on a model's presence just in the way that like her portfolio is. Well, you know that as a model too, because when you're the one also doing, like getting your pictures done, you know what you have to present or what you're bringing to the table. So
I love that. Yeah, we were actually talking about this on the last episode, because every like model has a particular walk and a vibe to them. Like every single one of them, like they bring a different taste. I don't know how to explain it, right? Like, I think that's actually so interesting. You know, like the energy, like the shifts and stuff like that. So I thought that was very cool. But yes,
it's true. And also for different shows, it's different walks for swimwear versus couture versus evening. Yes. It's like different walks for each show.
I messed up. I actually had, I think it was like my first couture, like runway, and I was like so excited but so nervous at the same time. I haven't done it for like 8 years, and they were like, "All right, you got this," and I was like, "Go," and I'm like, "Oh no." And I'm like, okay, make it cute. And then I remember completely forgot, but the designer specifically said, "Do not smile."
Oh, so you did the pageant.
I did, and he was like, specifically, he was like, "Do not open your legs, like you know how you do this."
Oh yeah.
He was like, "Keep your legs closed, classy, and do not smile." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I got to, like, you know, when you do the runway or whatever, it was a little long and it was hot. So it was so many emotions going at the same time that I was just like, just get it done. You
went to yourself, like your.
I did this and I was like, oh, and then I closed my legs. I was like, oh shoot. And then there's like all these photographers just taking it. And then, I smiled and I was like, oh crap. So. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Sometimes I feel like when you walk, sometimes it's so much nicer to not overthink. Right. But then if you're given different instructions, sometimes it throws off the whole concept of how you feel like you're gonna do how you're gonna present. You know.
How do you feel when you do the runways? Do you get nervous?
Always. I'm always nervous. I feel like it doesn't matter how many times you walk. Every show is so different. Literally, every runway is so different. I don't know if like you've ever watched America's Next Top Model.
Girl, yes.
When I was little, I used to watch that show so much.
Oh my God. I binge watched that. Like literally just,
But do you remember how crazy some of the runways would be? Like they'd be like on a treadmill with heels and like just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like
I went to one of their castings, by the way.
Are you serious?
I did, but you know what?
I feel like this is a story.
No, it's a sad one because I went all the way to the casting with my roommate. I remember Whitney. Aww. And I was like, yes, this is my moment. Like I think I was 19 too. And I was like, all right, cool. I was in college. And then tell me why I get to, and they're like, oh yeah, we need to see your passport. And I was like, what? And I left my passport, I think, or something happened and I couldn't do it. Or I think I did, but it was like,
then, maybe?
Yeah, it was like a quick, I think I did, but it was like, yeah, no, it was bad. I mean, I was not ready, girl. I was not ready.
But maybe you would have learned something.
Who I was back then, I was not ready for that. But it was cute that I actually at least I went to it. And actually, the show that I did recently, the casting that I did was similar to that, but a Spanish version. That's why I was like, no. I was like, my dream, my childhood dream is here, and I was like, I guess not. It's okay though. It's okay. I'm not hurt. I swear.
But that's so fun. Like don't you love castings?
You know what?
That's the thing. You got to go to the casting. It was probably really fun. Like you hype yourself up.
Yeah.
You go. You're ready to. Like,
I feel like
go
you
in
grow,
there. And you do.
Like, and I'm very picky with like. Not picky, but I feel like when I go to the castings and I get out, I beat myself up. I have that tendency. I'm like, I'm terrible. Like, I did horrible. And I go eat ice cream and cookies and Netflix and shit.
Isn't that terrible? It's so fun to have a nice...
I hate the world. I hate everyone. And I just cry. And then the next day, I'm like, oh, wow, I got in. What do you know?
Isn't that so funny? I actually remember I went to an audition.
I can't be the only one.
No. I went to an audition and they never gave me like... They never gave me the food auditions, right?
The what?
The food auditions. So like for commercial work, sometimes they would bring like pizza or they'd bring like food for like the casting because it would be for like a, I don't know, like a pizza commercial or something. I never had one of those. No. Never did.
Food commercial.
But I did have one for Publix.
And I love Publix.
And I love Publix, but I was living in California, so I had no idea what Publix was.
Oh.
And it was for a grocery store commercial. And they want to see how you eat on camera. So they gave me dry cereal.
Dry
cereal. But I was excited. I was like, yes, I got food at my audition. This is like the first time I've ever had like a food audition, right? Mm-hmm. And I ate the cereal. And then after that, when I left the casting, I was like so happy. I was like, yay. You know, kind of like the energy you're talking about. The cereal went all over the floor, all over the carpet. No. I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I felt bad about it. But like how I told you, kind of you train your brain to not fixate on auditions. But I still felt bad about it because I spilled food all over the ground. I ended up booking that commercial. I got the call back.
No, I
afterwards,
love it.
And I'm like, that's crazy. And then I ended up booking it, and I'm like,
So you looked cute with the dry cereal.
I'm assuming that maybe it was very human.
Like I feel like messy. We love it.
Maybe like you know the human aspect of it. Like I feel like sometimes we get so in our head, especially as like models. Or like pageant work, you want everything to be very like proper and perfect. And I think sometimes
like squeaky clean.
Sometimes real is good. Mm-hmm.
It has to be like a balance.
There has to be a balance. I agree.
Has to be a balance.
Like professionalism and real.
Right.
But I thought it was crazy. I was like, that's wild. Like what?
That's funny. I've never done that.
It must have been memorable. I don't know. Like you said, sometimes the like if you mess up, sometimes it can be a good thing.
Right.
Sometimes you think one way and it's not what you think. Like I said, we don't see the bigger picture.
Right. I could never do a food commercial.
No, but that was the only one I ever did. That's the only one I ever booked. Eating.
Like this is awkward. Like
it was so fun when we filmed though, because they literally in California.
Oh, okay.
It's a Florida commercial. Well, yeah. So
you were born?
I'm a California girl, yes.
So you were born in Cali?
Yes.
And what part?
Orange County.
Orange County, okay.
Yes.
And you came to Miami
7 years ago, and then I went back to California to be with Grandma because I'm really close to family, and she wasn't feeling good. Yeah, family's always number one for me. Like I find that family's always priority, and so I went back to California, and then after that I ended up coming back to Florida, and I feel like I have really built like good friend groups, and I feel like Florida's home, but I love California too. California will always be home. California will always be home.
For me too. Well, you know, dreaming one day of being at home. I always wanted to go to Cali. That was like my big dream.
I could totally see you in California. Yeah. I could totally see it.
I love the mountains, the beach, perfect. But
I know the beach. But see, we have a beach here. Like that's the thing I love is you still have the beach, you still have the sunshine, you still have good vibes. I feel like people are happier when they live near the coast.
Oh no, yes. Absolutely.
Have you ever noticed that? Like I don't know if you travel a lot, but I feel like people are always.
I moved closer to the beach now, and I swear I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the frequency, the noise pollution or something, because you know you're right by the ocean,
but you're by the beach, girl.
But I can't, like my nervous system is calm, and I'm just so calm. I'm like, why am I so calm? Like I feel so good.
It's such a detox.
It's so weird.
I think it's negative ions. I don't know if there's a science behind it.
There is,
but there's like something in the air,
like waves or something, like in particular areas. Like I'm sure if I go to Brickell, it's gonna be like, I'm like I gotta go and go drink. I gotta go party. I gotta, you know, a lot of energy.
It's so true about Florida. Like every part of Florida is so different.
Yeah.
Like each city is so different.
Right. And
oh my gosh.
So I want to ask you, how do you keep yourself focused in Miami, which is a very much sparkly, you know, a lot of distractions. What would you recommend to someone that maybe is coming to Miami for the modeling world, and how do you keep yourself grounded?
I feel like that's so important. That's a really good question, because I feel like as models, as you know, like usually you're invited to after party, you're invited to event. And I feel that it's also in a way you're working and you have to be on it like all times. You can't get too crazy and like drink a whole bunch. You're basically working. So I feel like self-discipline and also like being aware of your working, because you're always working. I feel like when you do modeling, or if you have like a platform, you're always working. So I feel like you just have to have that self-discipline, take really good care of your body. I feel like your health is important, like working out, eating right, like all of it counts.
Right. No, yes, for sure. Like,
Also the meditation.
Yeah, yes, meditation is very important. But
Very
I think that as a model, I mean, you've been in the industry for a while.
Yes.
I mean, too. You know, the parties are hot.
No, they are fun.
They're hot. They're fun.
It's
We're talking
fun.
like back in the days when I was 22, and like, you know, it was crazy. And they're so much fun, but like I feel like I got lost a lot of times when I was
Yes.
modeling at first. When you're young, you're hot, and you're just like I'm unstoppable.
And you think you can go with no sleep.
Yes,
And like
girl,
it's whatever,
yes.
but then it's
You
your
get-
body.
Yeah, and then the next day you're brand new. You're just like, oh, let me just have a smoothie, and that's it. I'm good to go. But,
Yes.
But I feel like you become busy, but you don't become productive. I think that that's very key.
It's true.
Because a lot of people, even myself, I get caught up in that, like where I'm like, okay, I'm busy, I'm doing stuff, but am I really growing towards that goal that I have? Like, I'm very very particular when it comes to like my time. Like my time is
Same.
precious.
Time management is such a big
So
deal,
it's
and
changed
it's
my life.
good that you've brought this up. Like I literally have learned that I like to write things down. Like I am old school. I love to write in a planner. You have your
I'm
book
like, I
here.
have.
I love it. You're on the same page. So I even have like a manifestation journal. I
Oh, yeah,
will
me
write
too.
in. You do too.
We are definitely twins.
See?
Twinsies. Okay.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
Love.
So manifestation journal. I love to write in a planner, like exactly like what I need to do. Because if it's written and it's in front of me, I can like focus on whatever tasks I have for the day. If it's not written down, I feel like I'm going to forget.
Same.
Like I trust the paper.
And every time I trust myself, I'm like, whoops, I forgot to do that and that and that.
And
yeah.
then you feel accomplished when you are able to go, check, I did it. Oh, check, I did the other thing
Yeah.
I planned. And also, I feel that, like, I don't know if you've ever done this before, but I had a friend, she told me, she was in school for, I believe it was like psychology. And she said, oh, so how you can see how you're using your time in the day and how productive you are, I want you to write down what you did each hour. And then I want you to look at it. And I was like, that
my
is
God.
genius. Because then you can see how much time like is
It's like 5 hours. I was on TikTok.
Exactly. You can see like where your energy is going. And that's
Right.
another thing. Like, I feel like you're given all these hours in the day and it's okay to take a break. It's okay to like, do self-care. I think self-care is a beautiful thing. I think you should always do self-care.
Absolutely.
I think you should always have like days off, but like on days that you want to be productive, I think it's so important to see how you're utilizing your time.
Oh, yes.
Like,
I'm the same.
You have to see how you're utilizing
Be
your time.
intentional of what you're doing, where you want to go. Like, I left Miami like 3 years ago. Like in 2020, I left.
Oh, you did?
Yes, and I left for 3 years. I'm so glad I did because I was like, I'm done with this city. I'm out of here, and it's perfect time because we're in pandemic. And I left first to Jacksonville, and then from there I went to Montana.
That's very different. We were just talking about Florida is very different in different parts.
Oh,
That's
yes. No,
crazy.
Jacksonville is like a small town. There's not much to do there. But I love it. I actually went to high school there, so I have family
That's
there
cool.
and stuff.
Okay.
So I went there, but then I was like, no, you know what? F Florida. Like, I'm done with this. I am done with this flat part of the country. I want mountains. And then, I was going out with someone at that time, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a road trip or whatever. We did a road trip all the way to like Montana. He had family there, whatever. Long story short, I somehow ended up going over there, came back over here to Florida. And I came back in 2023. And I told myself, okay, I'm going to go to Miami and I'm going to like get stuff done. Like, I'm not just going to go for fun. I literally have been planning every single month. I have like a specific goal. Like, okay, this month
when you know how to do it, then you're like, it's like changes your life. It's like the limitless pill. Like literally a book.
I haven't stopped, and I have grown so much that a lot of my friends look at me and they're like, oh my God, like you have done so much work. Like, I can't believe like you're a different person.
Too? When people point that out.
And the people that like laughed at me are now like, how did you do it? How are you doing this? Like, where can I start? By the way, those that laugh at you are the first ones to ask you, how did you do it? Tell me.
And they're usually so nice too. Like, isn't that so funny? Like as if there was no problem prior.
And you have to believe in yourself because nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's coming to save you. Like Mel Robbins, I love her too. And it's true. And when I realized that nobody's coming to save me, I was like, all right, this is me, myself, and I'm doing this for me, for my future, even if I'm in a relationship, even if I'm, you know, whatever it is. Oh, and by the way, how is your love life?
Love life is wonderful. So
Yes,
that's
tell
important
us
too,
more.
because you're talking about how everything should be cohesive in your life. And as women, I feel like, especially in this time, we do a lot. Like whenever we have our heart set on something, it's like we don't take our heart off of that. And when I met my husband, basically, I met him actually when I was doing a fashion show. He met me at a runway show. Yes.
Was he a model?
Yeah, he models too.
Oh, okay.
But he was attending the fashion show because he was watching it, and I almost didn't even go to the fashion show. There was a vegan festival going on that day, and yeah, so I ended up doing the fashion show though, and it was for a swimwear line. I think it was for Pink Melon Swimwear, and we had these.
I did them too. I
Don't
worked
you
for
love
them.
that
Yes,
line? It's so
good.
beautiful.
Yes, it's glamorous.
Shout out to Pink Melon. We love you.
Yes.
So anyways, we had like wings though. So they gave us like angel wings. It was very like Victoria's Secret. And it was the first year I decided to do runway. And I was just high vibing. Because like what you said, like I pivoted and then I was like full on focused on doing like my modeling again because I took a little break. I was focused on doing modeling and acting and all of that. And then I found that when you do what you love, you're so happy. It's like
you glow
elevated.
Different.
Yes.
You glow.
And
There's
at
like
the
something
time,
about you.
I wasn't dating. I was just like, you know what? This is just going to be me time. This is going to be time for me to figure myself out, like what I really, really love doing. And I just so happened to meet him around that time. It's like when you're not looking, then you end up meeting your soulmate, right?
Oh, I love that. You see, everything is happening for you guys, okay?
It's
and you guys are so cute.
Sweet.
You make me like believe in like there's hope.
No, there is
You
hope.
know?
He's a gentleman though.
Yeah.
So he waited. He's dressed absolutely beautiful and he's very handsome. He models.
Wait,
as well.
bring him in.
Yeah, he can come in.
This is an all girls
It's
podcast.
a girls podcast, but you have to see my Prince
can say
Charming.
hi. He
He's
can say
literally
hi.
like
Come.
he's like a Disney prince.
Yes, we're gonna break the rules for like a second.
Yes,
Say hi.
so he's
wait.
right here.
Right over. Oh, that one.
Right
is
here,
there.
baby.
Hey guys, how
This
are
is
ya?
this is my
The
prince.
prince.
So when we met, like it was so surreal. I wasn't looking for anything. He wasn't looking for anything either. And he waited, like he waited after the show, and you know, you get into your regular clothes and everything. They usually do like an after party or something. And I was talking to somebody, and then he introduced himself, and he's like, "Oh, would you like to go to Swan with me?" And I was like, "Oh
Swan,
my
aw.
gosh, he's so like such a gentleman, and it's so
I wonder for
refreshing."
my-
I love Swan.
I
That's where I
love
want to go for my
that.
birthday too.
Oh,
But
really?
he was so like, it was just so refreshing. And my mentality at the time wasn't really focused on dating.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's not that I didn't want like a boyfriend or a
Right.
husband. It's just my energy was more inward to like really feel elevated by myself. And he was like also really respectfully successful with everything he was doing business wise. He works in business. So he was doing really well single too. But then like we went on our first date and everything, we went on our first date and everything flowed. Like everything just flowed from our first date.
Really? Oh,
So there was no like resistance. There was no weird feeling, no red flags. Like, you know, and you look for these things after you've dated for a while. You're like, oh, you're aware of like what's working, what's not. And at the time I didn't feel like, you know, like if something wasn't aligning with me, I wasn't going to stick to it. But like with
Right.
him, like there was no conflict. It just
Good.
flowed. And it's like, I believe, especially like when you're a girl, you don't know this. Like, I don't feel like you know this until you've dated for a while. You should be with someone that elevates you. And also for the guys, like I feel like they should be with somebody that elevates them.
Absolutely.
And if they're not adding that to your, like, you should already be happy single, but if they're not adding to your happy,
Thank you.
then you shouldn't
That's
do it. I get like
literally-
chills
that's
as I
like
say
the
this,
same-
but
Aw.
it's true. Like if they're not adding
That's
to your
my
happy,
same perspective. It's like,
then you shouldn't do it.
what's the point of them? You know what I mean? Like,
Because if
you're
you can
supposed
boss
to-
up
yeah.
and if you can end up doing
Literally.
things like then but if you have
Yeah.
the right type of man
Yeah.
and you can kind of like have like the soft like energy you could, because you know we could earn it and do it ourselves.
No, for
like,
sure.
but
Yes. I mean, we live in different times now.
we
I
live in
think.
different times and it's
You
true. You
know?
can like pull your weight and everything, but like if you're able to be with like a true gentleman, you can like you
Yes.
can
And
like
I
soften
could
soften
tell-
up
yeah,
and like you can be in like that soft
Yes.
creative energy and you can like create and create and create.
Her
So
soft girl era.
it's awesome. I
Aw.
love it. Like I'm so happy with him. Like that's the thing.
Oh, yes. Actually, I have like a thing for the summer. I'm like, I'm gonna have a lover girl, calm girl era.
Calm girl era. It's true. It's a thing
girl,
though. When you're with the right man,
no, but
you are calm and you're happy.
No, but
it
girl,
brings
I've been
out a
doing the
different.
opposite. I've been yachting, and I'm like, what is? Well, not yachting, but I've been going on yacht parties, and I'm like, what is this? This is not calm era.
No, but I mean, it's whatever your heart feels
Very
at the
Miami.
time. Whatever you feel like you need at that time is maybe what you need. Like I've gone through phases.
Absolutely.
Like before him, I was like going through date, just for dating. Like not even just to see where it would go. And then when I met him, like I just knew. It's almost like an intuitive thing. You just know. Your heart knows. Like as a woman, you naturally
like
know.
you feel safe. I feel like when you're with the right person.
And then you just kind of let your walls down, and they bring out like a different
that's good
joy. Because everybody else sees it too.
Yes, you can definitely see that energy from you guys because it's very hard though, like to find a man in the model. Like when you're a model.
Yes.
For me personally, and I've seen a lot of models, a lot of actresses in the world. They kind of suffer from their dating life.
Yep.
I'm like, not me, but but it's hard because a lot of guys are like, oh, you're a model, and then they like put you in this category of like, oh, okay, she's like a Barbie. She's like, she's just pretty. She's just pretty face. They don't actually get.
They don't see the substance.
They don't see your actual soul. Like I feel like they just see your outer beauty, and then that's it. And it's like, oh, okay, she's just a pretty girl, and it's like, no, I'm not. Like this is something that I do for fun. Like I actually love what I do, but it's not. It doesn't define who I am. Like it's just it's a part of me, So I think that for dating, they're very biased,
And the other thing that's I will say I'm blessed to have him. I feel it's so funny when you bring this up. I remember I was on set and we were filming for a series for Paramount Plus when Paramount Plus was first becoming a platform. We were doing a show, and I think Shannon Doherty was a producer for it. And when I was on set, I remember the wardrobe was doing like fittings, and she told me that her husband, and this was like way before I met him, she said, my husband is in this industry. And like, I feel like it's so much easier to date within your industry because they understand the hours. They understand like you're just doing your work, because with the modeling and the acting, your hours are all over the place.
Yes.
And like the places that
like
you need to be. It might not make sense to somebody that's doing a different field or a different job.
Right. But I feel like it's tricky because I've noticed the guys that I've dated and they're in the industry, like it's not the best.
Which part of the industry? But I feel like we need to open up this can of worms.
different
but in the entertainment industry is what you're saying. Was it like
like models, actors, and also I dare to say streamer. Only one, okay? Just one, maybe two, like, or influencer. Let me not say streamer, influencer kind of thing.
Yeah, which is a thing now.
Creative
I mean, it's been a thing for I feel like over 10 years.
Yeah, in the creative field, and I feel like they're not mentally there. But I do get that, when you're dating a businessman, it's kind of like, I mean, no offense, I used to love businessmen. I'm like, yeah,
he's a businessman too.
Well, okay, well maybe, but with a model on the
side, he's like an exception. I feel like.
I think yeah.
I feel like he's just. I don't know how many are made this way.
Yes, you got lucky. So.
But what were you saying? He was a businessman though.
Yes, it was a bit like no. I used to date businessmen, and
they were more cold though, right? Like a little more cold.
And they just wouldn't really like connect with what I do. So they would just like either belittle it and be like,
they don't take it serious. Yeah.
Or, go get a real job. And it's like, I hate when people say that about the creative world. Let me tell you guys, this is an actual job. Like modeling, creating a brand. Like you're just doing something.
You put in hours at all hours.
Out of the norm. Like you're just thinking outside of the box.
You're trusting literally yourself. You're trusting yourself though, which is a big thing. Like, especially for women to like trust yourself, because I feel like in so many ways we're told, oh, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, this isn't
courage,
right. So you trust yourself, and then you're putting in hours, and it might not make sense at the time you're doing it, and then like sometimes you book work and sometimes you don't book work, and then sometimes there's that dry period where there's no work.
You have to like manage your money like
pretty much
specifically. Like
it's a whole thing, but it's also a beautiful thing, and if you love that roller coaster, it's a lot of fun.
It's scary. I'm not gonna lie. It's scary,
is at times,
and I have anxiety sometimes, but for the most part I feel like I just give it to God, and I'm like,
what,
that's
it right
happens,
there. You have to give it to God.
I give it to God. I try my best. I know that my intentions are good. I know that what my vision is to be a light in the world
And that's a good
and
thing.
inspire. Like, I'm not doing it out of like selfish, like, oh, I want to be in the spotlight and I want to be the prettiest girl. No, like I maybe when I was like
I was gonna say, like, when you're like a little kid, you see things different.
When I was 19, I was trying to be the most beautiful girl. No, but like I'm not trying to be the most beautiful girl in the room.
When you're like a little kid, though, you like want to go on like American Idol and stuff too, and you want to like sing and you want to do everything.
Yes, for me,
kid.
yeah. But I always wanted to be like my purpose was to be a voice for those that didn't have a voice, and I thought
that's
that
a
modeling,
beautiful thing too.
Thank you. And I think that modeling brought me into that. Like I knew that modeling has that glamour, but also you like once people are like, who is this person? They get to know you. You have a story.
Yeah.
You know. So okay. So and then what else?
No, I love that though, because it's like you're kind of when you say things like younger self, I feel like it's all still a part of you though, and I feel like you tap into like your inner child when you do certain jobs, and that's what's so fun. Is I feel like sometimes you're like, oh, younger me would be so proud that like I did this today or that today, and I love doing the work for that reason.
Okay, so what is beauty to you?
What is beauty to me? I think beauty is how you make others feel. I think it's the impact that you leave in the world and what you do for others. And that's one of the reasons I love doing philanthropy. I've done philanthropy work with Make-A-Wish, where we've done charity auctions to raise money. And I've also done charity work with Angels for Humanity. And I feel like what you gain is so priceless. Like when you help somebody else, it's so fulfilling. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't feel like everybody talks about this, but I feel like it's one of the most fulfilling things in the world. Like just to be able to do for others, especially like you said, you've created a platform to like talk about things that maybe like the younger generations or younger you or younger whoever's on the podcast like would see this and be like, oh, right. I never thought of things like that. Because when you're little, you don't know all these things and you gain all this insight as you get older.
Right. And talking about philanthropy, so I did for the Miss Universe, they actually have a rule, which is like you have to have, and I don't know if it's for all the pageant girls, but you have to have some sort of like foundation or not an actual foundation, but you have to do some volunteer stuff or whatever. Yeah. And I personally did it for the first time. Like I always wanted to do it, but I was like, yeah, one day. And that one day came
and it happened.
And it felt so good. Yes. It was, I think it was for Hearts of Miami. I believe the one that I did for
beautiful.
And it was, I don't know, do you know them?
I think, yes. Go ahead and explain what it is though. Cause maybe on the podcast. Then.
Yeah. So they're basically like, it's an organization that helps like single women, maybe like with their baby. They're pro-life, so it's very much on that field.
But still, that's
a
beautiful
thing. I don't want to get too much into it, but
no, but that's a beautiful thing. You're helping somebody. Right. That's the bottom line.
No, yeah, definitely opened up my eyes because I was like, oh wow, like this is a beautiful thing to not only model, not only go and try to be in the Miss Universe, but I'm also thinking about women that are going through a hard time that maybe are alone and, you know, are going into the motherhood. So that was a very beautiful experience with me and to me and with the girls that I was doing it with. And yeah, I love that you're doing all of that philanthropy stuff.
Isn't it a beautiful thing though? Like, and the thing I love about pageantry is it gives you a platform to be able to help on a larger scale. Like that is the goal. I know with the Miss Universe pageants, especially, they usually have you choose an organization to give to, and then when you can help with that platform, it's just it's like wow,
right?
It's so fulfilling. It's literally like a full circle. It's like the inner beauty, the outer beauty, and then doing for others. So I feel like that's what beauty is being able to work on yourself enough to the point where you have the energy and time and ability and the mental like capacity to do for others, like if you are able to, because I understand there's some people that can't, that aren't as blessed to be able to do. But when you are in a position to do, I think it's a wonderful thing.
Or just to even volunteer or just put yourself out there. You're just that action itself.
Even
little,
like beach cleanups.
Pebble. Oh, I've done
like
those too.
Things like that. I mean, it's all these little things. They all add up. I mean, it's all good work.
Yes. Okay. So I have the next question, which is one of my favorites.
Yes.
So how do you deal with negative comments?
Negative comments.
Yes. Like online or, you know, whatever it is, like in person.
That's very existent because obviously you're not going to be able to make everybody happy. And it is hard because when you go into things when you're a kid, especially when it goes with like commercial or selling a product or marketing, you become kind of a people pleaser without realizing it because you like want that like applause and that recognition and, oh, I booked this job or I booked that job. And like same with like a negative comment, but I feel like you build that resilience when you consistently deal with like, you know, rejection from like castings, or like sometimes they tell you to your face why they don't want to book you.
They're like, thank you.
They'll tell you,
just, like,
and you're just like,
in.
wait a minute.
Yes.
But you build this resilience, and then you work on yourself, like on the inside, and you fall in love with who you are, and you fall in love with like the person that you've become, and you've also like worked so hard towards like just building that resilience, that I feel like when you get a comment, yeah, it might hurt. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like obviously like mean comments can hurt. However, when you know like you are the best version of yourself that you've come up with, and you're trying to like be the best version of yourself, including like you feel good doing for others and making the world a better place, the comments don't mean anything. You just move forward. I mean, you're present. Like, you're like, okay, that was said to me, and now do the next thing. Like, does that better me? You know? Like, is it constructive? Like, if it's constructive, you know, but if it's not constructive, or it's not enhancing or bettering your life, then
it's just an opinion.
It's an opinion. Exactly. And so many people have opinions, and one person might say something like absolutely horrible.
Is that a fact? Yeah.
Another person might think the exact opposite, because everybody's so different. And you learn that, like, we're in this world with everybody that thinks so differently, and isn't that nice? Because it would be so boring if everybody was the same. Wouldn't that be terrible? Like, if everybody had the same exact opinion.
Yeah, like black and white.
No, it's not. Like, exactly. It's like black and white thinking. Not everything's black and white.
Like, everything is like,
no. So, I mean, yeah,
I love that. Okay.
Isn't that interesting? I never really thought about it, but when you word it that way, it's true. You build resilience.
Well, I had to deal with a lot of negative comments online when I was doing the pageants.
And isn't that weird too? But like, this is what I will ask you. Do you feel like when you were doing the pageants, though, you were putting in all the effort that you possibly could to present how you were presenting?
Right.
Then you can't take all that to heart.
No, I
because
didn't.
you literally did.
I used it for fuel.
But you get what I mean, though.
I'm like,
when you look at it from a different angle, though, you can't take it that way, because it's like you're doing everything you can. So why add to that and start like being upset at yourself? Like, oh, I can't believe this was said. I mean, like you said, it's an opinion. So.
Absolutely. I actually stayed away from social media, like around the, actually, no, I got cyber attacked. Like, it's a long story, but basically,
what was it? Like
all my Instagrams were taken away. They were suspended for some reason.
That sucks.
Through the whole entire pageant. And then once I was done with the pageant, then they all came back.
Was it a little bit of pageant drama, you think?
I don't even know, girl. But someone was definitely like, I don't want you to make it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm still going to do it. I don't care if I don't have an Instagram. I'm still going to try. And so, but I definitely learned that, you know, like you said, resilience. And I learned that I don't care what you guys think. I don't care that you guys don't think I'm good enough. I'm going to show you why I'm here and why I want to win this.
See, and that's the thing. If you have, if you have that drive with the purpose, like, you know exactly what you're doing. Like, you know why. If you have that why and that, like, tenacity and that drive, what's the opinion? Like, it's an opinion. It's fine. It's whatever. Exactly. And you move on to the next thing. If it's not helping you, then it's a waste of your time. Time to do the next thing. Exactly. Or they can keep their energy. Like, if it's like a negative energy, they can keep that energy. Why have it contaminate your own energy?
Focus on the good.
Yeah, focus on the good. Focus inward and work on yourself. And like I said, just keep your energy, like, keep that clear.
Right.
You know, keep the energy clear.
Exactly. No, for sure. You have to be like tunnel vision when you're doing that kind of stuff.
It's so true, especially with pageantry.
And keep like your heart like super sparkly and just like, you know, be on that, you know,
and don't let it harden you.
Oh yes. Oh no.
It's like, that's the thing. Unless it's like diamond work. Like, if it's hardening you like a diamond, that's one thing.
Girl, it was my first pageant ever. I had no idea what I was walking. I mean, to do such an important, huge pageant like that with like,
so that's that is, for anybody that doesn't know, like, the level of pageant that you did is literally, I believe it's one of the top, it's in the top pageants, because there's a bunch of pageants out there, but anything that's like Miss Universe affiliated is literally in the tops. It's like Miss Universe, Miss World, and I think
they don't play.
Yeah, no, they're big. They are savages. They're really up their pageants.
They were like, all right, I want you to do this and that, and like, it was just, oh my god. But I feel like it definitely like the diamond that I have here.
No, it's a thing, though.
It definitely, I feel like it just broke me open, you know?
Yes.
Okay, so I have one last question.
But this is so enjoyable. I've had so much fun.
Yay. I know, this is like amazing. I love this.
It's good vibes.
Yes, I'm sure there's much more. We're gonna get it maybe later on. I bring you back.
We can always touch base.
Yes, but okay. So the last question is, what is a beauty tip that you would give women out there? or like your favorite one? I don't know.
My favorite beauty tip is I believe in drinking lots of water. I believe in self-care, like taking a break and taking time for yourself, whether it's like using a mask or like wearing your favorite like makeup. And I also believe in fitness and health and exercise. And I think I said sleep, but yes, please sleep, because I feel like we can get so caught up and we don't sleep. So yes, all of that's so important. I know it's a lot, but I feel like those are just key
Very
points to touch base with.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
That was so fun.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you too. June babies.
Yes. I might
So
see you at
perfect.
Swan.
Yes. That would be awesome. Wait, yeah, because that's where you want to go to. That's so
you know what,
funny. We were
maybe.
literally talking about
Actually,
this.
I think I know someone that works there that I haven't seen in a very long time. So
I
maybe
love
I'm
Swan.
like,
That was literally our first date. Was
oh, how romantic.
so sweet.
You're so cute.
I adore you.
I'm like, I hope I get some of this.
Some
you know,
energy like in there.
Some good luck on this.
You never
yes.
know though. But see, that's the thing. You have to like.
Maybe, yeah. But this is my baby. This is
your baby. No, Amerolis is like our baby too.
Oh.
That's the thing with our fitness line.
Yes.
So
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And all right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the podcast, and maybe comment below like something that maybe you want to talk about, or someone that maybe I should bring on to here that lives in Miami. But all right, guys, have a great day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
That was